challenge. Oh, my goodness. In your life, have you seen anything like that?
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing. And now it comes down to one putt for the win. Is it his time?
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Great Bogey Podcast. It is your host, Cameron, partnered with JL, the savior of spin, and TL2, who hits darts and smokes darts. He is the male version of Charlie Hull, both looks and personality-wise.
I would say that's accurate.
That's a compliment to him right now because he is, I mean, he's got swoon eyes going on. He keeps looking at her Instagram page. I mean, he's in love.
Hard not to be when she's got that English accent. You know, she's smoking cigarettes, walking down the middle of the fairway,
and plays good golf.
And plays good golf. And
drinks like a sailor. Let's not forget that piece because she definitely does love a beverage or 10.
All right, here's the question for you guys: how many shots would Charlie Hull have to give you to make it competitive? You play your tees, she plays whatever tees like that the women would play.
I think we could play the same tees, and it would probably be a similar answer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even think the tees matter. Like, let's put us at the same spot, and she's still beating me by. I'm going with 10 on any course, 15 on any course.
15's a lot.
Yeah, that might be a little much. But yeah,
I don't know. It probably
you'll have home field advantage. She comes to your course. So Teddy, she comes to Eagle Landing.
It's Eagle Landing. I'd still probably like 12 shots, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a regular course and you got to remember that the women have the craziest short game. So she's going to be able to figure out the greens so quick and make more putts than any of us combined. I mean, the three of us could probably play a scramble and beat her, but that on our own, she's beating all of us every time with at least 10 shots.
Oh, I was like, it's no less than 20 for myself. I said the bare minimum number that was in my head was 20.
Yeah, I'd say probably 30 for you, Cam.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
But okay, but think about this. Like Cam, you went to Chambers, you shot what, 90 something, right?
93.
93.
Played great.
Okay. So 30 shots, that means she's shooting a 63 on your home course. I mean, doable, but likely.
I mean, let's get the facts straight. Chambers Bay is not my home course, but
no, totally. But you actually, I mean, what do you shoot at your home course?
Anywhere from like 82 to 86 is probably like average.
Okay.
At Raccoon Creek.
Okay, so you're thinking 30 from that? Like that means she's shooting a 59?
No, I mean, you got to think like that would be the most competitive match I've ever played in the history of my golf game.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to underperform, probably not breaking 90. And I mean, she's probably making, it's par 72. I think the tips are 6,800, so we could even tip it out. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she was 4 or 5 under par. First time seeing it. So what? That's 67, 30. So home course, Raccoon Creek, 20. I think 20 would be a safe bet. We're getting spanked either way. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So
and
not
Teddy's
literally,
gonna be in love the entire time. So
well, maybe literally.
You'll also probably just have a hard time like not looking at her, be like, oh, yeah, you're a very attractive woman, and you are very good at golf. Like Teddy's like, speak to me, baby.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm there.
We've got some stuff to talk about today, right? We've got we're going to talk about our golfing adventures over the weekend. We got the RBC Canadian Open recap. We're going to talk about the Memorial. We're going to talk about the U.S. Women's Open. We're going to do an update on our point system for the cut line, the winners, and the DFLs. And we'll talk about my boondoggle at Chambers Bay last week. So, Teddy, tell us about your weekend when it came to golf, specifically. Your early wake up.
Yeah, no, it wasn't ideal.
Oof.
We had such a fun time last weekend with being first out at one of our favorite courses around here. It's about an hour away, and Placa Golf Club. We decided to run it back and do the same thing, and woke up at 4:30, jumped in the shower, woke up, got dressed, loaded up the car, sat down, turned the key, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I have another car that my girlfriend uses, but she had to work as well. So the way the timing was going to work, I wasn't going to be able to take her to work and go golf and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So ended up having to just walk back to my apartment and sit on the couch at 5 a.m. and just waited for stores to open so I could go get a battery and replace it. I couldn't jump it because I'm at an apartment complex and there was no open spots or anything. It just it was a clusterfuck. There was no other way around it, and I had a long day Sunday.
Why didn't you call an Uber?
Because the golf course from Palatka to Jacksonville, it's a little over an hour.
It's an expensive Uber.
That's an expensive Uber.
It's not worth it. It would have been more expensive for the Uber than it was for the golf. The golf.
Weren't you playing golf with
$30.
people who live in Jacksonville?
Yes, and so previously we would carpool. I had a buddy that was going to be. We had 2 tee times, so I had a buddy that was going to be coming, and I was just going to take him. Everybody else was going to carpool together. No big deal. Texted him the day before twice. He confirmed both times. He does have a habit of, especially if we were going to be leaving that early, he does have a habit of not wanting to go. So I confirmed twice just to make sure that he was in. He said yes both times. He said he was laying low that night. There's going to be no issues.
Do I know this
waking
person?
Up. No, I don't believe you do.
Okay.
And when I woke up at 4:30, he woke up at like 4:31 and texted me and said, I'm not coming. And yeah. So that was pretty brutal. And by the time I went to start my car and do all that stuff, the other guys,
it's too late. Yeah.
They had already left. Like we wouldn't have made it if they had to turn around and get me. So it was depressing. I was really looking forward to playing. And I literally couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything Sunday.
You just sat there and waited for Advance Auto Parts to open so you could go get a battery.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Walmart. But yeah.
So yeah, this is actually a good question because there's always a variety of different answers. And I'm sure like anyone who's leaving comments on this will have different answers on it. But what's your favorite time to play? Are you like dew sweeping? You're that first one off is absolutely ideal, or are you like middle or afternoon?
I don't prefer first out. There's a bunch of positives. It's not as hot, especially right now in Florida. It's not as hot. There's nobody in front of you. You can just, you don't have to wait. But personally, my body is just not awake before like 8 a.m. So those 7 a.m. rounds are tough. It takes me a while to kind of get loose and get going. Yeah. So, I prefer like the mid-afternoon, late afternoon rounds. The sun's starting to set again, nobody's out there. It starts to cool down a little bit, after like 5 o'clock. And that's what I prefer. But I couldn't tell you the last time I played a late afternoon round.
I've been trying to figure it out because like I thought I loved playing like first out, but I've
Mhm.
never really had good scores.
No.
And then I start playing in some of these tournaments and it's like later in the day.
Mhm.
I'm like, huh. Like I start playing a lot better on the back nine.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's kind of weird. What do you Cam?
Logistically, first out is my favorite. I mean,
Yeah.
with a 3-year-old at home, it works out well like during the summer because you avoid the heat, like Teddy said. And then my wife's a teacher, so she's home. And so if like she has to take Cruz, our son, to school, she can do that while I go play golf at 6 a.m. Because I take him to school every day. I don't know the data on scores. I don't think it really matters for me whether it's first thing out or middle of the afternoon or in the evening. I do like the evening for the same reasons I like the morning because you avoid the heat. It's usually pretty open. You don't have groups, on your butt, and then you're also probably taking it a little slower, so you have a little bit more space in the group in front of you. But tee times out here are just so packed, like it's busy pretty much until that last tee time goes out for the final 9. But I also don't mind sweating. Like I don't mind being super hot playing golf in the middle of summer because I stay a little looser, and there's no shortage of shade typically on golf courses out here. So
Yeah. Our group, last year we were taking like the 7:15, 7:30, and we moved it to like I think 7:54 and 7:57 are like what the times they've been using. And it's crazy how much closer we've gotten to 8 o'clock, how much slower the rounds have gotten.
Yeah.
Because there's like 3 groups that go right off, and man, they're not playing golf, they're playing polo from their golf carts. Right, they are the retired guys that have been members for the last 25 years, and the only thing they're looking forward to is drinking some beer and watching the golf tournament in the restaurant afterwards. So they're gone. We can't even catch them. But there's a few groups that get in between them, and it's like, oh, all right, this is regular golf. Shit, this is gonna take a little bit longer than we thought. So
yeah. Justin, what did you play this weekend?
yeah, I actually got in fair amount of golf. It was pretty. Last weekend we had that like travel for golf for my daughter and stuff like that, and I met one of the Titleist reps at Langdon Farms, and I was like, "Hey, are you ever coming over to my side of the mountain because it's 3 hours away?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll be there next weekend." So he shot me a text, and he was at a super nice course, um, Tethero Resort here in Bend, and he was like, "Hey, I can sneak you on for like 45 minutes." I was like, "Sweet, I'll jump over there." So at like 3 o'clock, I went over there and on Friday and got a driver fitting and a fairway fitting, which was kind of cool to like just be totally on Titleist stuff, only
Did you
changing
buy them
shafts
yet?
in and out. No, because speaking of Titleist, today is the day that the new stuff like get on the conforming list. So August, but now that's the debate, right? I saw the difference between the TSI 3 and the TSR 3, and he put me in the VF 7X shaft, which is basically like the Tiger Woods shaft. And you could see the spin difference, and like it just kept up with my swing. Like the load point is just better than the Ventus Black. And I gained 4 to 6 mile per hour just with that head, which was pretty interesting. I was
That's
like,
a lot.
crap, that's going to make a big difference. But
So
now it's like
why haven't you bought them yet?
because it's, dude, you're gonna go spend $600 on a driver. Why not wait a month and a half and get the brand new stuff?
Because you
Right?
didn't hit that.
Because it'll be an extra $150.
You
Yeah,
had
but
you
it'll
had a
last
free
another
you had a
2
free
years.
fitting.
I know.
You're gonna buy brand new clubs that are gonna last. I mean, 5 years anyways, because you're not gonna buy used.
I'm not gonna keep. I just
TSR.
bought this TSI 3 when it came out. So what was that? That was 3 years ago. Because it's every
At
3 years.
least, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point,
I
it's like
think
a
you should
3 year
leave the
turnaround.
podcast and go buy what you're fitted for right this second.
right this second. So, but it did that on Friday, and then played with the group on Saturday morning, and we played from the tips And I mean, I shot an 81. I was all over the place, but it was, I think we played black green combo. So it was like 6,900 yards.
Nice.
I just couldn't keep it on the golf course. So I was everywhere. Got pretty down on that, but then ran to my daughter's match where it was pretty fun, man. She played basically on the second team. So they kind of do it like band, right? Like first chair is the best and then so on. And so she's now second chair with one of the other kids. And so they played 2-person scrambles and they played their second best team and they beat them. So they took 2 flags to 1 flag because every 3 holes is a flag in a 9-hole round.
Hmm.
And this kid got so
So you
mad.
play like a 3-hole match or whatever. So you play
Yeah.
like
So
three hole
each
matches?
flag is 3 holes. So you get to collect the flags. He was so pissed. He was so bent out of shape. It was hilarious to me. Like he just got in his mom's driving a lifted golf cart, which is hilarious to me at this match, but just got in the lifted golf cart and was mad and wouldn't walk with us or anything. It was like, oh wow. All right. And then Sunday played in a best ball tournament with one of my buddies, Joey. And we played pretty good. So Northwest Golf Guys out here does some pretty cool things. They put on a tour, a partner tour, and just like a individual tour. And we went out to Aspen Lakes. And man, the vibes were so low when we first got there. It was like gray, overcast. He shot a 41 on the front. I shot a 40, and we both doubled number 9. Like for a team best ball, we were at that point so pissed.
Yeah.
And 10 was a drivable par. I mean, it was 315 yards. And I was like, I'm just hitting 3-wood. And I swung out of my shoes because I was like, I think I can get a 3-wood there, and just pushed it off to the left. And I was pissed at that point. And he's like, dude, just take driver and go for the freaking green. And I was like, I need to hit a provisional anyways. So hit driver and I put it to like 10 feet. And once that happened, like I got super excited and we both went on the back. I shot a 35, he shot 34, and we ended up shooting a 68 as a team. So went 4 under, ended up winning the thing. So it was pretty fun for that. I was stoked.
Very nice.
So it was a good weekend.
Yeah. Golf filled, free fitting, still refusing to buy what you're fitted into for some reason. That's going to bug
Teddy,
me.
are you going with the GT3 or are you going with the TSR3?
Probably a TSR. I don't think it's going to be that big of a change, to be honest. I think if you want to wait for the TSRs to come down in price a little bit, I mean, that's fine. But I think it's probably, if I were you, I would just get the shaft. It's going to have the same tip for all 3 of the heads anyways.
For sure.
But between the GTR, TSR, and the TSI.
Yeah.
So I would just get the shaft, invest in that first, because I think you're not going to have the confidence now after hitting that and seeing those results. It's kind of tough to use your current driver. I think it'll be easier to just get the shaft. That'll instill the confidence back into your T-ball. And then if you want to pull the trigger on a new head, you have options.
Yeah.
I will stop bugging you if you go ahead and do what Teddy said and just get the shaft.
But this is the thing too. Like I didn't even think it would be that big of a deal because honestly, the first good driver I bought when I got back into golf in 2019 was this TSI3. So I went TSI3, put the Tensei white in it, this 65X, and I just haven't really messed with it except for some of the settings. But man, changing out a driver shaft, like it was just weird. I didn't think it would be that big of a change, but changing that out, I was all over the place for like 2 weeks. I mean, I've kind of figuring it out, but
well,
I mean,
it's a little. Right. So you're going with the 7X. It's going to be a little heavier. I haven't looked at the specs of it, so I don't know the exact weights. But I mean, it's probably 77, 78 grams.
Yeah, it's going to be substantially heavier than the Ventus Black.
Heavier. That's going to help more with timing and in the transition. And then with the VF, I think it's a little more. Could you feel it load a little bit more than with the Black Ventus?
Yeah, the loading right here. was different because I don't feel the load on the Ventus Black at all.
No.
All I know is I swing it and it goes.
Yeah.
But that's the weirdest part to me with the Ventus Black.
I think, and the blue's a little better feeling. You can feel the load a little bit more. But so I think a little bit heavier weight, that's going to help a little more with timing and then being able to feel that transition and kind of feel the load of it. I would rather just do that. And usually a heavier weight, it's a little more stable. I don't think you can get more stable than a Ventus, but it's probably close, while also having a little more feel compared to the black. So, I mean, I don't know what they're probably 350, like around there.
It's 285 add-on if you're buying it directly from Titleist, but
I mean, you can probably get one off Facebook or eBay for 250, 280, with the tip and everything. I would just do that.
So I'm looking at it right now. The VF7X is going to be 75.5 grams.
Okay.
But it is kind of interesting because you and I were talking about this earlier. It's got higher torque. It's 3.0 in the torque.
Yeah. Well, usually with the torque, that's where you feel that transition. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of if people have more of a deliberate downswing, like if you're quick at the top, you don't want anything more than 3 degrees of torque, because that's when it's really going to twist and it's going to go all over the place. But that heavier weight kind of helps counteract that. So that kind of helps you. It prevents a heavier weight prevents a quick transition.
That makes
sense. That's probably why you got fitted for that heavier 7X. But for 250, 280, whatever, I would just do that.
The
I would have done
7X
that
is
over the weekend.
The 7X is honestly like it's what kept the spin down. So just going with that heavier shaft, because they tried to put me in a 6 and it was spinning like 400 RPMs, a little bit higher than the 7. But so the Ventus Black in the 6X, because that's what I've got, is 65 grams. So it's going to be full 10 grams different. But the torque, let's see. The
torque's like 2.8.
No, this is the crazy part. It's 3.1.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
Huh. That's interesting. I think it's just the Ventus Black has such a, and Cam's just going to make so many comments after this, but such a stiff tip.
Yeah, it's more stable.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably should just go buy it. The rep actually sent me everything in the email, and he was like, "Hey, these are the clubs that you got fitted for if you want to buy them from me." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll just buy them from you. That's fine." But it was kind of cool because I was looking at it. I'm like, okay, so with the Ventus VF is like 660, which I know that's actually a pretty good.
Or with a graphite design
shaft.
The VF's graphite design, right?
Yeah.
Not a Ventus. Yeah.
And then the TSR2 Plus is what I got fitted into with a Tensei 1K Black 85X, and that was only 269 with the shaft. So I think he's got like some sort of discount built into that already.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so for less than $1,000, I've got brand new driver and 3-wood.
Yeah, I still probably I would just do the shaft and then go from there.
Probably. Well, and the new Titleist, the GT, is supposed to have the 10K, which everyone talked about how much more forgiving the pings were with 10K and some of that new technology in it. So it might be time.
Get the shaft for the summer, and then once the GT drops, then you can make a decision on the head.
Look at this. Coming out with just advice that's logical instead of,
there you go.
Damn, just buy it.
Go get it all now.
Just buy it now. Everything. I want everything now.
What about Cam? What kind of shovel did you use this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hear about Cam's weekend.
I don't know the make and the model and the brand of the shovel that my brother and I use. So there's 2 of us. But I did not play golf this weekend. We did our backyard landscaping, which I will never do again, ever. We did save a bunch of money doing it ourselves, and we have a small enough backyard. Like we were able to get it done in 2 days, more like a day and a half. But moving what we estimate to be about 12 tons of rock is not an enjoyable experience at all.
So like 6 yards.
No, like 6 cams.
I'm so confused.
But 6 yards. Like they usually measure it in yards, right? So.
So I used the calculator on their website. This wholesale landscaping company.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you want this rock to be 2.5 to 3 inches deep.
Yeah.
Here's your square footage, and here's space 1, blah blah blah, space 2. And it came out to like 15 tons. I'm like, that seems excessive. They're probably trying to upsell me. Whatever. Bought 15 tons. And then we got big old boulder rock, which was bigger than I thought it was going to be. That was another 5 tons of that rock.
Dude, and you guys did this all with wheelbarrow and shovel.
We had 2 shovels and 1 wheelbarrow.
Yeah, F that. I did that 2 summers ago. We put a deck out back. I took all the grass out. And I only got like 4 yards. So I think I got like almost half of what you got. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. Because it literally took me just like 2 weekends of myself pushing it up. And I do have like a elevated driveway a little bit. So going up that, it was like, I was wasted just every day.
We, from like the furthest point from the pile of rock to the furthest point where we had to dump rock was also probably like 250 feet.
Yeah, just absolutely brutal.
And you're hauling like 250 pounds of rock in the wheelbarrow. It's slanted, it's all sloped away from the house for drainage. Yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Did you spill any? Did it topple over at any point?
No, which is surprising because we have like a
pretty good
drop from our sidewalk down to that first step off into the side yard. And I'm like, rock's going here anyways. I'm sending it off this to use momentum every time. And my brother said a few times, like, dude, you almost lost that one. I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's got to go there either way.
Yeah.
It's all going to fall towards the fence. Like, what's the problem? But yeah, that wasn't enjoyable. Luckily, we did all the rock in one day. So like we slept Saturday, woke up Sunday. All we had to do was sod.
Nice.
Which, don't get me wrong, wasn't easy after a day of doing rock. But we got it done.
But isn't it like, so moving gravel is like you take one shovelful and you're like, oh, that didn't dent anything. You take like one wheelbarrow and you're like,
dude, we were in for like 6 hours. And I'm like, this pile does not look like it's changed.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2 years ago,
the exact same as when they dumped it.
2 years ago, I did that. And then last year I had to put gravel in the back because we took the rest of the grass out. And I finally just text my buddy. I'm like, hey, you've got one of those dump trailers and I don't care what it costs. He's like, I'll come over. We'll do it in like 2 hours, $150. He moved the same amount of gravel that took me 2 days in an hour and a half. And he was just like, hey, burp, 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 and done. I'm like, all right, I get to go to the golf course. Sweet.
Yeah. There's like muscles in your back that you don't necessarily use when you do things you can feel all those muscles you just forget about the next day.
Yeah. No, you know it's going to be.
I did more steps that day than I did at Chambers Bay. And I was hauling wheelbarrows full of gravel and rock and boulders.
That's going to be brutal.
So 200 feet back and forth.
So I think I had a better weekend than both of you. So do I get an extra point for like our
no.
pick?
No.
Damn it. I need to figure out a way to catch up.
He's just trying to get any points he can at this point.
Yeah.
Dead last.
Just switch your picks going forward. Justin, that's all you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Who I think's going to win. We're going DFL. And
you need to DM whoever you pick to win on Instagram and say, hey, I picked you to win in our podcast that has 30 subscribers to it.
Yeah.
Every time I pick a winner, they actually don't play well. So just keep that in mind, Sahid.
And just apologize.
Yeah, and say, I'm very sorry. I hope you play well.
Oh, man. Yeah. That was brutal.
No, but, it was a good weekend nonetheless. I got my golf in the week before. I played Chambers Bay on Wednesday. Then And then Thursday we took some clients out up in Wenatchee to Desert Canyon Golf Resort, which was really cool because they had like an actual grass putt-putt course.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't play it. I looked at it and it looked fun. But we got to the parking lot like 10 minutes before tee time, which is not how I operate. So I was just trying to play it cool with the clients. I'm like, all right, dude, it's fine. Just go swing and hit your club.
You're not a
Pipe
drunk slammer?
Piped the first drive on number one, hit a great shot, had a birdie look, made par, and then the wheels fell off from there. It was like hole 10. I'm like, I am so tired. Like, because I walked Chambers the day before, just drove 2.5 hours to Wenatchee from Seattle. It was brutal.
There could be worse things you were doing for work.
It could be extremely worse. Like I could have hauled rock for 4 days straight rather than one day.
You could just get yelled at like Teddy does on a daily basis.
true.
So
That is true.
I could have woke up and my car could have been dead.
see, look at this. It's turning into a therapy session on this podcast.
New name, Brightside.
Imagine
Podcast.
your rental car the day you're supposed to go to Chambers Bay
I'd have Ubered.
and it doesn't start. Were you like 2.5 hours away?
No, Seattle is 45 minutes away
Going the other
from.
way.
Oh,
Gross.
not
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
bad.
Chambers. 2.5 hours was up over the mountains, the hills into Wenatchee the following day,
Yeah.
which was actually a really nice, pretty drive. You know, it's typical Seattle, foggy, rainy. You know, up into the hills, but
Sounds about right.
just cruising, listening to the best podcast in the world, Great Bogey Podcast. Hey, make sure you're liking and subscribing us on YouTube, Great Bogey
Tap that
Podcast.
button. Tap it right there.
Please and thank you. So yeah, should we get into Chambers Bay real quick?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we need a review. I mean, none of us has played Chambers. You came all the way from Denver and you're able to play it, which I think that is pretty poor form on my part since it's only 5 hours away from me. But
Is it really only a 5-hour drive for you?
yeah, it's about 5.
That being
and a
said,
half.
it would be worth it for you to like do 18 there. So you drive, stay the night, go play 18, go out to dinner in Seattle or stay in Olympia, wherever, play another 18, and then just head back home that day. Like it's well worth it because it's one of the best places I've ever played golf, and it's wide open to the public.
Yeah, they've got this thing called the championship experience that they do where it's
Right.
Chambers Bay and it's the home course, which is supposed to be pretty nice and pretty cool.
Mhm.
They've got like the Washington Golf Association championship there and stuff. So yeah, I just have to
Yeah.
actually get up there.
Yeah, so I will say for a first timer being on property, it was very confusing. So they have the golf shop up on the hill, like right when you get there. But the first tee is like down this 5,000-foot drop, it seems, down the road. And there's a parking lot over there. They didn't have the main range open yet. They had kind of their secondary one, which is like a gravel parking lot. You go hit your balls, putt your, make your practice putts. And then there's a shuttle that then drives you back up kind of halfway point to the first tee. There's like a starter shack. There's a bar, snacks, all that stuff. So I was a little confused when I first got there. That being said, I missed the rain. The guys I talked to in the parking lot when I was going to check in were like, yeah, it pretty much rained the entire first 9 for us. And then it was beautiful by the time I got there. I had a 3:00 tee time. I got there at like 2, which going back to our conversation about like late afternoon, twilight type stuff, it was perfect for Chambers Bay to be out there when the sun was going down and over the ocean, over the Puget Sound. I forget how it's pronounced.
Puget.
Puget. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Luckily,
Nice.
And I don't mind playing with 3 random people. I don't care about that at all. But it was just me and my caddy. In my,
Oh.
Did the other
my
guys
group.
no show or something?
No, nobody booked it.
Oh.
So I had a foursome in front of me and a threesome behind me.
You play 2
My
balls?
cat- I hit a couple like shots twice, played the first one, like all the par 3s. I'm like, I might as well send another one. Why not?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
because all their par 3s are very scenic, downhill, very good holes. Hit a couple tee shots twice because I could see the group still walking up to the green. So I'm like, might as well just send another one, get another swing in.
Yeah.
But no, it was perfect. I think we finished right at 4.5 hours. The walk, and like I said, I had caddy carrying the bag for me. The walk was not nearly as bad as I expected it to be, from a difficulty standpoint. Don't get me wrong, like when you're walking dead into the wind uphill on some of the holes, then it's a little tougher. You're out of breath when you get to the ball. But we finished up 18. I'm like, I feel pretty good. Like, I'm not going to go do this again right now, but,
Well, it
feel
probably
pretty good.
helps, like, the whole time leading up to it, you're just prepping for the absolute worst.
Yeah, I went in thinking I was going to die on hole 9, and
Yeah.
not the case. Yeah. I had some really good shots. I went into this thing and I was going to lose balls off the tee. I lost 2 balls all day, and I think one was on the first tee. Somebody hit my ball. It was dead center to the fairway. We walk up. There's a guy walking up 18. He's playing 18. I'm like, I think he just hit my ball. My caddy kind of agreed with me. So I'm like, I'm just going to drop here. Like, we're not walking back to the number 1 tee. There's a group up there. Like, let's just onward. Like, it's not a big deal. Doubled that hole. Then I went par. So I went par after that. And hole 2 was a lot of fun. Hit it up to the right side of the fairway. And I hit I really like the second shot. There's like a big slope on the right side of the green. And the guy's like, hit it up there, dude. It'll feed right down to that pin location on the right side of the green. I hit it maybe 4 yards short. It still fed onto the green. I had probably like 20 feet to birdie. Made par there. I'm like, all right, we're going to be all right today. We made double. We fixed it with a par. I mean, I make plenty of doubles in every round of golf I play. And then I think my favorite probably hole kind of shot sequence was on number 3, the first par 3. I think it was a 9-iron. And there's a lot of like, if you don't make it to a certain distance, you have a good chance of rolling off. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
But I rolled all the way down into a waste area, bunker. I probably had, I think it was like 40-yard shot up to the pin. And I hit just this sick sand shot to like 5 feet, made the putt for par. And I'm
Nice.
like, oh boy, are we doing something here today? And I doubled the next hole.
Yeah.
Well, because like obviously we had some points on the line for your score and your putts, and Justin was following you via the Grint app.
You want to add the Grint and tell them that they've got 3 guys right here that support and would like a little bit of sponsorship.
But after the first 3 holes, I thought Justin and I were cooked because you said you were going to shoot what, 86?
I said 86 with 32 putts.
32 putts, yeah. And after the first 3 holes, I was getting concerned.
I felt like walking to number 4, which I think is the first par 5. I'm like, yeah, we're solid. Like, there's no problem going on here today. The biggest factor was the wind. It's like it would be dead in your face on some of these par 3s, but the flag's moving the other way. And I'm like, I don't know what to do here. And then also, it took me way too long. You're right at sea level. You're right at the ocean. And I've played at sea level since I've played in Colorado. Don't get me wrong. But with the wind, elevation changes that you don't maybe like account for enough.
I was almost meters instead of yards.
I was almost at a 2 club difference sometimes.
Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Like I told my kid, I'm like, bro, it's 150. I would pull my pitching wedge here back home in Denver. But it's like, I don't even know if I'm getting an 8-iron here at this point. Because in the wind, it's slightly uphill. But I hit a great drive on the first par 5. I'm like, oh my God, dude, we're doing something today. And then a funny story. I hit my second into kind of like just topped it. It went like maybe 100 yards. And then the third I hit into a bunker. I got way too much ball on my 4th, hit it up into a side hill. And there's steep hills like on the other side of these greens. Climb up, find my ball, hit my chip shot. I'm walking down. I'm recording. I'm like, I'm going to record this because I'm going to do like a Instagram post of like, play this par 5 with me. And all of a sudden I'm on my ass sliding down this hill.
Oh, geez.
So from like hole 4 on, I just got this big old dirt mark on my left butt cheek because I slid down, dude. I sat there at the bottom like, all right, we're good. That shocked me because it was just like one of those your feet come out from under you so fast.
So you were there for a little bit of time. I mean, what's your ranking, what was your favorite part of Chambers and thoughts on it?
My favorite part was like I think there's 2 holes where you just didn't have a crazy good view of
Okay,
the
so the
ocean out
views
there.
were immaculate.
Yeah, of the entire course. There's like 4 times I'm like, this got to be the highest point on the course, right? And then you just play another 2 holes and you're like, oh no, this is the highest point on the course. You can see everything.
Yeah.
The conditions were good. It's still kind of growing in. I mean, it was only 60 degrees when I was there. So some of the greens just had not like rough patches, but you could tell like it's still a little early in the season for them.
Yep.
But overall conditions were great. I didn't realize how link style it would be, which was enjoyable.
Yeah. It's
Um,
open and you can get pretty creative with some of the shots you get to hit.
yeah, I think that drive I hit on that first par 5, I saw it take a big old bounce. I'm like, did that just roll up into this thick stuff up here? I'm not gonna be able to find it. No, there was just a huge part of fairway I couldn't see. So I hit like a nice little slot, probably got an extra 15, 20 yards that I promptly screwed up, on the second shot, but that's all right. It's in the past.
Yeah.
So conditions were great. The caddy was great. I gave it 8.7 out of 10 total experience. And I think
solid.
it's got to probably be the best course I've played personally.
Can you share how much it was for the
Yeah,
round?
so the green fee after tax, like when I booked it was $225. With
Okay.
tax, it got up to like $250.
And then
I think caddy 100.
And then caddy, the
Plus
website, they're
tip.
like, we recommend $100 plus tip. He recorded a lot of my shots for me. He was great, very informative.
nice.
He's a veteran. He runs like he partners with some company that trains veterans to be caddies.
Okay.
So I was very,
cool.
very just appreciative of the veteran aspect. Cool guy. So I gave him $160 total.
Nice.
So
Nice.
well worth it. I probably wouldn't do a caddy next time just because I played there before.
Yeah.
If you're doing multiple rounds, then it's like Justin and I said, if you go up there and play, then yeah, it'd be worth you getting a caddy one round and then carrying the bag yourself. They had really nice push carts too. I think that came included if you want to do that. So
Cool. So I was thinking about this, like, and I think we're all three going to have different answers for this, but like, what makes a course like favorite or good, or what's like, and let's just keep it to like 2 things, but what are like 2 things that you pay attention to on just like the overall, not like the greens have to be perfect and stuff like that or the layout, but just like when you go to a golf course, if they hit these 2 marks, you really like them.
I'm a big clubhouse guy. I like a good looking clubhouse. And then I like to remember the first tee shot. Like if I don't remember the first tee shot on the day, then it's not really all that great to me.
Okay.
Sure. I think if they have balls on the range, I think that's a good sign.
Included in the green fee.
I mean, well, not like one of the automatic range dispensers, but like if they got stacks of range balls already on
Like
the driving
boxed up
range
for you. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's usually a really good sign. And then probably if they have like a decent little short game area, not just like a putting green,
Mm-hmm.
but if
Yep.
they have a separate chipping area with a couple flags, a bunker, and some practice balls out there as well, I think those 2 signs tell you that you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to do that if it's a shit course. So
Totally.
I like those, Teddy. Those are good. Those are
So
good.
you and I have got the
reasons.
same thing because I'm like a huge short game. Like I love just going out to the course I play at.
I won't use it, but
Yeah.
I can see
It's
it.
nice to look at and watch
Yeah.
people use.
Yeah, I could be like, because I'm usually maybe 15 minutes beforehand, I'm pulling
Yeah.
up, but I can see it and know that this is a nice place.
I just love short game areas. So if there's like a chipping green, that is nice and it's got, a couple different shots that you can hit from like 20, 30, 50 yards out, stuff like that. I love
Mhm.
that. My other thing is the type of hot dogs that they serve. I literally, one of the first things I'll go check and see like what type of pork missiles they got.
Where's the best hot dog you ever had? Golf course related. What golf course?
So it's Quail Run. It's like 35 minutes away from here. And it is this small golf course that, I mean, a lot of people in Bend haven't even played it. And they
Mhm.
just have the best little restaurant there for golf course food.
Yeah.
But it's awesome because if you're making the turn, they'll literally ask you, "You making the turn?" And you jump in front of everyone, which is like, why
Hmm.
doesn't every
How
course
it
do
should
that?
be.
Yeah, it's how it should be. But the hot dog's awesome. And then Tokati, which is where I'm going on Saturday for a qualifier, they have an awesome hot dog. And so, yeah, it's also something that like my daughter and I, every time we go to a new golf course, we always try a pork missile, see what it's like.
Yeah. The best hot dog I've had at a golf course was at Fire Lake in Illinois, Moline, Illinois.
Ooh,
Shout out to Brian Ruda. He's not listening, but they had a pretzel bun. Oh, dude, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Elite hot dog. Decent course too.
so
Sorry.
in the last month's Golf Digest, they actually had the top 5 hot dogs in the nation type thing. And of course, like my daughter actually started reading it. She brought it to me one day. It was funny. I was on a work call just like this, and she comes in and she doesn't notice that I'm actually on camera. And she
Mhm.
just stands right here. She's like, "Dad, look at this. We need to go to these 2 places." And I like just point her and I go like this. And she's like, just goes straight down. She was so embarrassed. But Olympic Club, with the burger dog, that's number 1. So that's I don't know. For us to get down there, it's like 9 hours, but I'm gonna try and get
Might
down
as well
there
just
this
go to
summer.
Chambers Bay at that point.
Yeah, totally.
We
But
should
Olympic
do our
Club,
first meetup at Chambers Bay.
good.
It's a long travel day for you, Teddy, but you get time back. You know, with the time
It-
change.
Teddy,
Yeah, that's
Teddy, we
true.
couldn't pick a farther place for Teddy. We found a golf
Yeah,
course.
let's go to Hawaii.
Yeah,
That would be further.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be
Right.
that would be tough. That would be tough.
All right, are we
Nice.
gonna move on to this weekend? There's a lot of good golf, like some national tournaments happening, RBC and U.S. Women's Open.
Yeah. I have a hard time rooting for Robert McIntyre. I'm going to be honest with you.
Really, I love the guy. I think he's hilarious. I mean,
Well, he's
one, he's
lefty.
left-handed, so
Yeah.
I automatically
Yeah,
just
we
Teddy,
get
to
it.
remind
We're
you,
brothers.
Justin's lefty. In
Yeah.
case you forgot, we got to kick him out. I'm glad he won. Like, it's cool seeing that. It's cool seeing his dad on the bag. Like, he's gone through
Yeah,
like
it was a
4
good story.
caddies in the last 18 months. It's very cool. I just like he hit that shot on 18. I just didn't feel anything.
So
Like
there was
he
visa
solidified
issues.
his. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he hit a big shot when he needed to because what's his face was making an incredible run. I didn't feel any
Ben
emotion, which I normally do. Yeah,
He
Ben Griffin.
played. The most emotion I felt was there was 2 times on Sunday. One was when he bogeyed the first, and I thought, okay, thank God,
He's
like
crumbling. Yeah.
he's not going to win. Somebody else is gonna take this from him. And then he started to get. I think he birdied number 3, and then like number 5 or so. He had a couple birdies. So then that was depressing. But then he had the back-to-back bogeys on like 12 and 13 or 11 and 12, something like that.
Yeah.
And so then I was excited again because I thought, okay, finally he's crumbling. Meanwhile, like I think Corey had like just finished or was on 18 at that point.
He was making a run there.
Yeah,
late.
a bunch of guys were all kind of right there playing really well towards the end of the back 9.
Yep.
So was kind of thinking it was going to get crazy. But Bob just kind of figured it out after that.
So dad came on the bag, but it's because his other caddy had visa issues or something. So is that another reason for him to pull out of Memorial?
I don't think there's any reason to pull out of a signature event where you can win $4 million when you're playing the best golf you've ever played. It's probably been since the Ryder Cup, right? I mean, he was pivotal in the Ryder Cup win for the European team.
He was pivotal in the Ryder Cup because he had Justin Rose and absolutely Justin Rose plays out of his mind when it comes to Ryder Cups. And he's also a senior at this point and has the experience. So he's got little Bobby Mack there and he is coaching him through that entire thing.
Yeah. The focus isn't quite on him. It's not
Yeah.
expected of him to perform at a certain level, whereas
Yep.
with Justin it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So does it make you like him less, Cam, that he is not playing at the Memorial?
I think he just has
It's
a
not.
punchable face.
It's not that I don't like him. I just don't. I don't feel anything towards Robert McIntyre.
Okay.
I don't know. Like maybe I got to.
I
Maybe
liked
if
his
he comes
attitude
out
at
and
Ryder Cup. At the
maybe
Ryder
he comes
Cup,
out
I
and
was
shows
like,
up
this
at the
guy's
U.S.
hilarious.
Open and the Open.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, maybe this guy's going to stick around. But like, how many guys come and win one time on the PGA Tour, then they fly back home to Scotland, skip the next tournament, and just don't ever do anything again?
That's a chance for him. He was having some
Like, what are you
serious
doing?
like homesick issues though.
Grow up. Grow up. I'm sorry, you're a grown man. Like you play professional golf. You just won what? Almost $3 million, $2 million, almost $2 million. Like
1.7, yeah.
fly your family out. Like, what are we doing here? You're
Well, his
homesick.
family
You're a
actually came out
grown
for the
man.
PGA Championship, and that was his other good finish,
Grown
top
man.
10. He got 8th. So, but I mean, he plays pretty well in like the weird opens. You know, like obviously there you got the Canadian Open, then you had the Puerto Rico Open, the Mexico Open. So, I mean, he's played pretty well in those types of tournaments. He doesn't really show up for anything else, but
It seems like he's killing all momentum that he has by flying home 12 hours to Scotland to go party.
to go have a party. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but what better place to go?
To the Memorial Tournament and then to the U.S. Open.
So what? So you can have a like milkshake at the Memorial? Isn't that what the?
Oh yeah.
Buddy,
milkshakes
you
are
like
the Memorial.
milkshakes. Why are you not on Team
I
Milkshake?
know
right
I
now?
did. I had one last night, and I drank it entirely too quick. I felt awful.
Yeah, what are they called there though?
Milkshakes.
No, I the Ohio, the nut that's out there,
The Buckeye.
the Buckeye. Yeah, that's what it is. They've got the Buckeye shakes at the Memorial. I remember that now.
I don't know, man. It just seems like going home at this time, withdrawing from the.
I just don't know how
event.
you withdraw from the chance to do that. That's like us as working individuals saying, "Hey, you're gonna give me a guaranteed paycheck." Because remember, guys, there's no cut.
And he
Got
just
this
promised
down
his
to-
mom he's going to pay off her mortgage. Like, just go win that money right back.
Yeah. So you've got a guaranteed paycheck, and you've got the chance to quadruple whatever money you've made, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and with a
Yeah.
$4 million winner.
After we've talked this out, I've come to the conclusion I don't like Bobby Mack now. I've decided that.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Anti-Bobby
Like,
Mack.
it probably makes you feel even like less desirable to follow him because of the choice he made this week.
Because he's homesick. Grow up, dude. You are a grown man playing professional golf. Like, homesick?
Well, Cam Smith went through it. That was one of the main reasons.
Grow
he
up,
didn't
yeah. And
live.
then he went and played for the Saudis. Now he's making a butt ton of money, not winning tournaments.
How'd that work out?
$100 million.
Yeah, way to go,
for
Cam.
one person.
Giving us a bad name. I was excited. Sunday was really enjoyable to watch Tom Kim and Rory both just light up the golf course.
Yeah.
Make a
Are they the next? Well, first Saturday they were paired together. Both played really well.
push.
Got back into the mix.
Their weekends were awesome.
Yeah,
The
and then Sunday
63,
same thing.
64s. Yeah.
So are they the next like buddy cop movie duo?
Ooh.
Somehow end up paired up at the U.S. Open. Somehow
Yeah.
all 4 rounds or something.
Kind of
That would
like
just be
Colin and
hilarious.
Rory, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
The Masters when they made that run on the weekend. That'd be kind of
pulling
fun.
out on 18.
On 18 on Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Tom Kim. Full swing made him even more likable.
100%. That made
he's
me
just-
want to follow him.
Yeah, he's probably not homesick.
Dude,
I
I
mean,
think everyone.
I also picked Tom Kim in our pick'em league, so I was rooting for Tom
Yeah.
Kim for that, and then I picked Rory for this. So
I do need to mention. So we do that lottery pool sort of deal with our weekly picks. A few guys, and one guy lives in an illegal state for gambling, so he will message the group to ask for somebody to place his pick. Now, usually Wednesday is when we make sure everybody has their pick in. A couple times there's some stragglers Thursday morning. We're trying to, before everybody starts teeing off.
Yeah.
He didn't message until 9:30 Thursday morning. Nobody really, it was too late by the time we saw it. So nobody placed a pick, but he picked Bobby McIntyre.
Oh,
So I also did not want McIntyre to win just because it was going to be awful for all of us. And yeah, so we've been hearing a lot of shit the last 24 hours for ruining our lives.
Basically. I bet Bobby Mack had crazy odds too. Like
it was plus 1,600. Yeah, plus 1,600. We do $10 bets, so it's cool. It's cool.
Damn. So I mean, but that's the interesting thing. Like this, we thought it was a good field going into it. It was fun. It was good, but
yeah,
it didn't have the outcome that we thought. There was.
Well, it's the same thing that's been happening, right? Where somebody kind of jumps out.
He's the 8th first-time PGA Tour winner this year.
Just absurd.
Wait, the text on Thursday that everyone sent was, "Damn, I should have picked Sam Burns." And I said, "It's just the first round." And everyone was like, "Well, first rounds matter this year." And where was Sam Burns?
True.
What the hell happened to Sam Burns?
He got homesick, I think.
He remembered who he was and stopped playing good golf.
He flew back to Louisiana.
Is he he's the new Xander Schauffele? Now that Xander has won a tournament?
Well, I guess I think that would probably have to be Victor.
Yeah.
Victor Hovland's had better finishes in majors than Sam Burns has, if I had to.
This is true. Well, and Sam, he won something, didn't he?
I don't know. Well, Sam Burns was
he beat Scotty Scheffler at in a playoff at the Wells Fargo.
Oh no, he has. Oh wait, yeah, he's got 5 wins. Okay, all right,
he's won, but like
yeah.
He's right on the cut. Like he's been on the cusp for a few years of like being like an actual star, PGA Tour star, right?
5 wins, 3 seconds, 3 thirds, 14 top 5s, 33 top 10s in 149 events.
He had 2 wins in 2018-19. I didn't realize that. I thought he was like 2020, 2021-ish. But 1 win in 2021 and then 1 win in 2023. So he won last year?
He won the match play.
Oh, yeah, that is where he won. Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So is Sam Burns the best golfer without a major, or is Victor Hovland, or is there somebody we're not thinking of?
Bobby McIntyre.
Here's something crazy. Sam Burns, with like playing 150 events, he has made $24.5 million.
That's somebody that doesn't get homesick.
Yeah.
That's somebody that's setting up his
Bobby Mack's going to make $9 million because in 25 years of playing golf because he has to go home every other week.
Yeah. Well, and he buys half of Scotland drinks for 5 hours because he's got to have a party.
I don't understand it. I don't understand that decision.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's weird. So, all right. So we've beat to death Bobby Mack. We've realized where he sits on Cam's whiteboard at home. I mean, Dougie got screwed out of that too. Right away, Amanda asked him, "So is your dad on the bag for next?" No way. Like,
right away.
No, right away. It was like, damn.
Well, because he already had in his mind he was withdrawing.
Yeah,
so
I guess he was already planning on not playing.
He made that putt. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not going next week." Like,
yeah. I'd rather go.
I'm gonna go develop alcoholism in Scotland.
Yeah, I'd rather drink 37 pints than win $4 million. Okay. There was some cool action. I mean, it wasn't horrible. Did you guys watch the U.S. Women's Open?
Admittedly, I didn't watch much golf until Sunday afternoon after we were done putting sod in.
Yeah, you had
That's
shovels.
fair.
You should have been listening to it on XM radio.
I was listening to rap music to help push me to keep going. I hate to say it, but it's just not exciting. It's a U.S. Women's Open. Like it played like a true Open, U.S. Open, right? What
It
was it?
did,
2
yeah.
under 1.
I think
But I
the
just
main thing that happened was Nelly missing the cut, and that
Mhm.
10, like that took everyone's like wind out of the sail per se, right? Like everyone was looking forward to this battle with Nelly.
What's
and
crazy is she almost made the cut. She missed the cut by
Yeah.
1.
wow, yeah,
She missed the cut by 1
that is kind of interesting.
with a 10 on a par 3. She was 7
a
over
10.
on one hole.
Huh.
Did you see her, like, I think it was an Instagram or tweet or something? She's like, after she missed the cut, she's like, well, that was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
That was funny.
yeah, it was pretty.
I can appreciate like that kind of like, well, that sucked.
Yeah,
Guess we'll go try again next week or whatever. And
I mean,
not fly home to Scotland because we're homesick. But
it was tough though. Like that course just looked brutal. You missed it. I mean, even Yuka, she drove, what was it, 15, 16?
16.
She drove the green, and that putt, she is literally like, it's that way. She is aimed just face back to it, going
Yeah.
that way. It was crazy to like actually watch that on TV.
Well, and I don't know how that course doesn't get more play, but it seemed
were they?
like Lancaster.
Lancaster, that's right.
But it seemed like on TV, I mean, you could see some undulations in the greens, but it didn't look that crazy until it would show like where they were lining up on some of these putts.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking like it's a 6-foot putt and they're playing 10 feet of break. And I mean, that ball would just take off. And they were pretty big greens too. It's not like they were, medium size with, a couple shelves. I mean, they were massive areas with just a bunch of subtleties and pretty generous slopes. And so I just think they did a good job, like setting some of these pins and just making it as tough as possible. The rough seemed thick, which I'm like, they don't miss too many fairways, but if they did, they were severely penalized. Whatever yardage
most of them were like pitching back out almost directly into the fairway.
Yeah. So I mean, it was they set it up as tough as they could for the field, and I think it showed with the leaderboard. But yeah, I mean, it was I didn't watch much of it live, but I was able to watch like the highlights each day. The 15-minute clip that the tour puts out. And it was, I didn't fall asleep during it. And that's more than I can say with some other golf.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think the craziest thing is like she's won 2 LPGA like tour events or whatever, and they're both U.S. Opens.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like she's won
both U.S. Open.
Is that total professional wins? Is just 2 of the biggest tournaments she's played in?
Well, what's crazy is like
those are her only wins.
Those are only wins,
US
and they're
Opens.
just the tournament everybody wants to win probably on the LPGA and women's pro golf.
Yeah.
But if you kind of think about it, it does sort of make sense for like her and her game to be successful in like a U.S. Open because she hits the ball far. She hits the ball far. She does kind of swing like a guy. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
She mirrored Rory's swing. That's what she talked about 2 years ago in the U.S. Open. All she did
technically
was watch videos
speaking,
of Rory.
Yeah. So I mean, she goes at the ball a little bit harder than most of the other players, and so something like that's set up for aggressive swings and an aggressive play style. She can. I mean, she struggled with some of the shots off the rough, but not as much as everybody else in the field will. So, maybe she's just built for a U.S. Open.
Well, think about this too, Teddy. That course was playing 63.79.
Yeah.
Under 6,400 yards
with
someone who hits a 290 yard drive, like straight drive.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but it is also like, there's 2 things to that. Like she should have been 10, 15 under from that distance, but that's how hard that course was playing.
I didn't realize it was playing so short.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of long
for the LPGA. It is a little long. They're usually
really,
they're usually right around 6. But I mean, some of the best women, I mean, especially in America, some of the best women are only like 260-yard drives.
You're
265.
not winning me over to be like invest in like watch women's golf right now. I'm
I
just gonna be
mean,
honest
I
with
will
you.
say they are hitting it further. Like I remember Morgan Pressel, like when she was super competitive, like she would be like 130 yards, and the commentators would be like, "Oh, she's hitting 7-iron." It's like it's 130 yards.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's 7-iron. Like how is that even?
But I don't know. I like what like I look at their what's in the bag a lot, like on Golf
Yeah,
WRX. I'll look at their what's in the bag to compare it to like what I'm doing or what others play because I'm not looking at freaking butter knives from Tiger Woods. Like there is nothing in his bag besides like him and I having similar shafts because of swing speed. But like I can't play his irons. Like I'm not
well,
gonna
I mean,
play
you
the greens
could.
on his
It just
yeah,
you're not
it's
going to have
just
fun.
it's gonna be
Not with that kind of
horrible.
thought process, Justin.
Yeah, I guess so. But like looking at how they set up their hybrids and what they've got for their iron setup and their wedges, like it's like okay, that's relatable. Whereas hitting 350 yards drives can happen, but it's not happening at the
Yeah,
frequency that the pros are doing it. So
yeah. But no, I thought it was one of the better tournaments they've had in a long time, and they didn't need Nelly to be the star of the show.
Carry it, yeah.
Yeah, so I
I'm
think that was
interested to see the
probably
comparisons after 2 weeks from now when the Pinehurst #2 U.S. Open ends. What are the scores going to be there? And is the golf world going to say it should have played like Lancaster difficulty wise?
I will
people
say
are already saying that.
it also like this weekend in general. I think both courses, like it just looked everything. It looked like the type of tournaments that you like to watch,
Yeah.
just from the
Mhm.
course setup. Thick rough, good bunker placements, good pin placements, good greens. A bit on the larger side with some subtleties, and then a good mix of scoreable and take your medicine, make par. Um, I just thought it was a good weekend for the golf course architect
I
fans.
I think the hardest thing for me about the LPGA is like look at the first 10. I know Yuka just because of like what happened to her 2 years ago in the US Open and how far she was hitting the ball compared to everyone else. But I don't know anyone else on the actual leaderboard.
No, I didn't recognize anybody.
And that's that's where I think the LPGA is like probably just hit kind of a funk in the fact that the marketability of what's going on. I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at the PGA, you can at least figure out. I mean, everyone heard of Bobby Mack because of what was going on with the Ryder Cup, and I'm sure that the Solheim Cup had a bunch of players in this, but you
Well,
don't know it doesn't get advertised in the same way.
yeah, and I think it's more concerning that somebody like you would say it with a daughter that's in the game and is
I want to
playing a
pay
lot.
attention to it. I
Yeah.
literally want to be able to sit down and watch this and be like, "Oh, this is awesome. Let's
Yeah.
watch it together."
Like you all have a reason to want to watch it and
Yeah.
you can't.
But like I'm looking at I mean, Hannah Green, I've heard of a few times. But
It
I
other
just
than
thought
se-
that,
she shot like
it just seems
55.
like the Asian ladies are
dominate.
better off playing on their Asian tours, like wherever they live, right? They probably a lot of them seem like they come from
Yeah,
those
but that's
tours rather than playing the LPGA. No, am I
that's
am I wrong
that,
there?
that's a huge difference between the LPGA and the PGA is that the LPGA is an international tour. Their first like quarter of their entire season is an Asia swing.
So
So
you're
it's kind
saying
of
you don't know of these other ladies on here because you don't watch it? It's not because they're not playing on the
I just
LPGA
think
every
it's the
week?
LPGA not making it as marketable. Like Nelly Corda does a great job marketing herself. I mean, Charlie
I love
Hole,
to hear.
your new girlfriend, TL2, she did a great job marketing herself on the worst possible way, but we're all gonna remember
Well,
it.
yeah.
And we're talking about someone who was tied for 19th at +6,
Yeah.
but she's getting more attention than even the second and third place at this point. But that's my point. Like there's no storyline to some of the LPGA, which is a bummer because I think there's a lot of cool things that happen. Like where's Daniel King? Like she's hilarious to me. I
Yeah.
would root for Danielle King any day, especially after that foreplay episode, but she fell off the face of the earth. I mean, Lexi Thompson is the other name that I know, and she's retiring. I mean,
Bring back Natalie Golbus.
yeah, I mean, there's some names
Paula
out there,
Creamer.
but we never see them anymore.
Annika could
Yeah.
probably compete. She could have played.
Still. So I don't know. That's where I think it's missing. But so I might actually go up to Seattle in 2 weeks because they're having the KPMG LPGA championship up there. And I asked my daughter about it and she got all like super excited and was like, could we go up? I was like, shit,
You should go, and when you go, play Chambers Bay.
Yeah. So
what is the problem here? You
Yeah,
can have
I'm
your
like-
new woods and your new driver. I'm failing to see what's going on here, buddy.
The new Scotty pack just dropped. You can get that.
You can get your Sunday red hat.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Done.
All right, let's move on. We're at an hour and 10 minutes here, so we got to do the memorial.
Well, let's go over the picks real quick because didn't we say? Oh, we already went over that. DFL with Sam Sears. I got the points for that.
Yep.
Yes.
And
Who'd you pick for your winner? Can we just point that out real quick?
Yeah. Who'd you pick?
Sahith.
What'd he do? Was he right behind Sam Sear, Max Sear, or whatever his name is?
Not very well.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Okay. We told
I've got
Justin
the
he has to
curse
start
at this
DMing whoever he
point.
picks to win, saying, "Hey, I picked you. You're not going to win." Like,
I feel like it's a bad thing at
keep
this
that in
point.
mind.
'Cause Max Homa and Sahith had like two of the worst
But
weekends.
just
When I picked them
back.
back to back, just terrible.
Just awful.
So Teddy got the points for the cut at even par.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
then he
then,
also got a point for being closest to my score at Chambers. He picked the 91.
Yes. 91, yes.
I shot 93.
Yes, pretty close. And then I will say Sunday was pretty tight between your pick and mine.
Yeah. Your pick bogey the last, mine didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the difference.
That's all it is.
But I mean,
So,
almost
Rory.
TL should get the point just because he had the best
Disagree.
Canadian.
Disagree.
I
Oh,
like
we all
said
picked
that.
the Canadian at some point. I picked Mike Weir to be DFL.
This is true.
Yeah, you picked Corey Connors to win. Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't say that beforehand, so moving on.
So Cam, you got 9 points. Teddy's got 6, and I'm just DFL with 5.
So I think what we said was whoever gets the most points from the previous week, right, gets to pick first.
Yep.
And then from there it's top down. So that order would be Teddy, me, you.
Okay.
What's the cut line?
Yeah, let's start with the cut line. So
that's easy.
There's no cut.
I know. That's the funny part.
I'm gonna go.
So real quick here.
Oh,
We haven't even talked about the course. Let's talk about this real quick because I think it goes into like who you're playing and stuff. Memorial course is awesome. Like Jack's place. I went there last year and it was, I mean, walking around, it was like, damn, this place is
So you went there, but you haven't been to Chambers?
Yeah. Well, I got invited on this work thing and we got to sit in a suite for the entire time. I was the only one watching golf, which was interesting. And I was the one who was leaving to go follow people and try and like, my daughter asked me right before I left because she was pissed that she was not going with me. She said, I've got one request. I was like, oh, this ought to be good. What is it? Can I get an autograph from Justin Thomas? And I'm like, of
That's
all the people you asked for, like, can we make this a little bit easier to get?
Yeah.
And I tried to follow him, got to the 18th hole. He never came out of the scoring. And then at that time, like the buses were all leaving. And I was like, crap, I got to get out of here. So failed on that, but course was awesome. Course was in great shape. It is a long course. Like they stretch that thing out, and the undulations on some of those turtlebacks that they're running for the greens are pretty intense. So it got to hit the ball far, and I think you got to be a pretty damn good putter at this course.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts on Memorial?
No, I mean usually it's a pretty exciting tournament. So, and it's an elevated event, so should be a good week and a good weekend.
Yeah, it looks like 7 under. One last year went to a playoff. I think it was Denny McCarthy and Victor Hovland.
Oh
and
yeah.
I thought the scores were lower. So, it's kind of playing into probably a tough layout, long course, warming them up for the U.S. Open. I do like that they're doing signature events right before majors. I think that's good.
Yeah,
Totally.
Even if Bobby Mack goes back home to Scotland because he's homesick and misses it.
So 7,500 yards is what they're playing at for day one, which will be pretty intense.
I wouldn't be able to reach some of the fairways off the tee. I guarantee it.
From their
RPMs
tee
on this
boxes that
bad
they
boy.
played, I saw a few of them and I was just like, damn, like, that looks really tough. Shoot.
this is tough for last place.
Are
Last
we going
place pick.
DFL as our first pick?
Let's do DFL first, and then we'll do winners.
Because everybody's kind of playing pretty good right now.
Yeah, you look at the odds and you're like, I don't want to pick that person last.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
I mean, we could just bash Bobby Mack again because now Davis Thompson got into the field.
I'll go Seamus Power for last, I guess.
That's not too bad of a pick.
Seamus
Might as well.
Power. All right, my DFL is going to be Andrew Putnam.
Okay. It's a good pick.
DFL for me is going.
So is this your winner or?
Yeah.
DFL.
Hey, I got DFL right
winner.
last time. So DFL is going to be Emiliano Grillo.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Scheffler for my winner.
Yeah, how can you not?
It's kind of tough, but I just feel like that it's almost like the perfect course for him.
Cam, you better not be this predictable.
And he's the best player in the world.
And he's the best player in the world.
Don't do it, Cam. I know.
Should I just go Rory again?
Yeah. For like the third week in a row.
I mean, it's kind of tough, right? It's the week before major. He's probably going to win, right?
Playing pretty damn good.
Yeah. I'll go. I got a lead on you, so I'm gonna go out a little bit away from Rory. I'm gonna pick my guy, Ludwig.
Okay.
Dang it.
That's who Justin was gonna pick.
Yeah, that's who I actually had in mind. I was thinking he could play some good golf.
He's healed up. Hopefully he's healed up. Plays well here, and I'd like to see him show out at the U.S. Open too next week.
So just for like, you're super fan of Rory. Like you love these big burly guys from Ireland. It's just your jam. If I pick him and he gets like almost last place, are you gonna cry on the next podcast?
Did you just call Rory a big burly man?
He's 5'6", 150.
I guess that doesn't really work. I was just thinking like big personality from Ireland.
Sure.
No, I strictly didn't go Rory because you guys said something. If nothing was said, I would have picked Rory.
Well, then why did you pick Rory?
Because I'm going to pick Ludwig because I got a 3-4 point lead on you guys.
Well, you got to try to get. I mean, my guy is going to finish no worse than top 5, right? Yeah. He's either going to win or he's guaranteed top 5. So you kind of have to try to pick somebody that might get hot this week and get the win.
Might be the dark horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, man. I lean towards Rory. I think that's a great pick.
I mean, he's hitting the ball really good right now.
You have to pick Rory. Like, if you don't pick Rory, you're dumber than I am. Like, you just gave me a hard time for not picking Rory.
Why wouldn't you pick Xander? Xander just came off the biggest win of his life.
he got homesick and he hasn't played golf since.
He's done, dude. Xander's done.
Xander's done.
He'll win
All right.
another major in 4 years.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Or maybe he'll win a medal in Paris.
Yeah.
The savior of spin curse is going with Rory McIlroy.
Oh
All right.
God. Some stuff's gonna come out about the divorce or something.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Tomorrow they're gonna release that Rory and Amanda Balionis are indeed a couple, and
Yeah.
she's pregnant.
Yeah, she's having a baby. Being in the best shape of her life right now, but she is going to be pregnant very soon.
What a prediction! You heard it here first, folks. All right, everybody. We're at time here by about 20 minutes and 27 seconds. Make sure you're liking, subscribing on the Great Bogey Podcast on YouTube. Say hello to Cruz, who just randomly joined us here. Any closing words, Teddy, Justin?
This podcast was brought to you by Big Tobacco.
I thought it was by Copperfit.
We're Marlboro Red people over here.
Or American Spirits. I'm fine with that too.
All right. I hope you get to play some better golf this weekend, Cam, and I hope your car starts TL2 so that you can play some golf.
It's started 4 times since then. $150 later, we're cooking.
Awesome. Cool.
I don't know if I'm playing golf this weekend. We'll see. All right. Everybody, thank you. Like, subscribe, follow us, do all the things. We'll see you soon.